I'm Geeta Srinivasan. In this video, we are going to see about abstract classes in C#. So what is an abstract class? Whenever we need to achieve abstraction, that is, it is necessary to provide only the essential information and hide the background implementation details. We consider two important topics in C#. One is an interface and the another one is an abstract class. So as the name indicates, abstract means improper implementation, and the abstract methods or classes cannot be instantiated. Like interface, abstract class do not support multiple inheritance. And here in abstract classes, we can have both the abstract as well as non-abstract methods. The abstract method will include only the declaration. The class that inherits the abstract class must provide the implementation for the method declared in the abstract class. And it can also have access modifiers for the methods inside the abstract class. Now, let us look into a simple syntax about how to write an abstract class. So here we have abstract keyword, then class name. Following that, we can have normal method declarations as well as abstract method declarations. So as usual, you will mention the access specifier, then the data type, then the method name, followed by the parameter, the body of the method. For an abstract method, we have to use the keyword abstract, and it includes only the declaration. Now, the class 1, which inherits the abstract class, must provide the implementation details for the method declared in the abstract class. So, similarly, class 2 also inherits the abstract class, and again it must implement the abstract method declared in the abstract class. Now, let us look into an example. Concept, I am going to create a simple application and name this as abstract class sample. So I am going to create an abstract class. The class name is going to be login. So inside this, I am going to create a username and password, two variables, both of type string. So I'm going to create. The variable name is username and the another name is password. So now I'm going to create a normal method, and that is going to be public void get credentials method. And this method is going to accept a string parameter, and that is going to be the platform name. So inside this, just I am going to get username and password from the user, and I am going to assign to the variables, respective variables. So now I am going to just display console dot write line. So inside this, I am going to display enter. Along with the platform name, I am going to display the username. Platform name, then the username. Now, in the variable username, I am going to get the value from the user and assign. This is the readline method. So I'm again going to repeat the same steps. So I just copy paste this one. So here, instead of username, now the second thing I'm going to get from the user is password. So here I'm going to assign that value to the variable password. So now this method is over. Now I'm going to include an abstract method that is going to be public. To refer that as abstract, I have to use the abstract keyword, and the method is going to be void. And the method name is authenticate. So here this is going to be the abstract method. It just includes only the declaration, and it does not include the body of the method. So whenever a class that is going to inherit this login class has to implement the method authenticate. So now let us see. So now I'm going to create another class, and the class name is going to be YouTube, which is going to inherit the login class. Since it inherits the login class, it must implement the authenticate method. So here inside this I'm going to give my own definitions. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to call the get credentials method and pass the platform name as YouTube. I'm going to display call the YouTube Authenticator API with the given username, with the entered username and password. So first this is going to take the value of username, and here it is going to display the value of the password. Now this authenticate method is over. Now I'm going to include another class, going to be the Facebook. Again this is going to inherit the login class. So here I have to implement the authenticate method. So I override by authenticate method. So here I'm going to again call the respective methods. So here what I'm going to do is, inside this I'm going to call its respective get credentials for the Facebook. And here I'm going to print here instead of YouTube Authenticator API, we have to call the Facebook Authenticator API with its respective username and password. So now we have created two classes, both inherit the login class. Now I'm going to create instance for the login class. So first is going to be for YouTube. So I'm going to create for the class YouTube. Using this variable, I'm going to call the authenticate method. So again, I'm going to create another variable. It's going to be FB using the Facebook class, and now I'm going to call the authenticate method. That's all. So now we have created a login class, which is an abstract class, and it includes two variables, that is going to be username and password, and it includes a normal method, the get credentials method. It is going to accept the platform name, and here we are just receiving two values for the username and the password. And I have an abstract method which is going to be the authenticate method. So, and then we have two classes, which is going to be the class YouTube and the class Facebook. So both the class inherits the login class. So it must implement the method authenticate. So here we have, inside this method we call the get credentials, and here we pass the class name, which is going, platform name is YouTube. So now I'm going to call the YouTube Authenticator API. So now I have another class, which is the Facebook class. Again it inherits the login class. So again it must implement the authenticate method. So here instead of YouTube, now it is Facebook. So I'm passing the platform name as Facebook. So now we are going to call its respective authenticator API along with the username and password. So now we have created, in the main function, we have created an object UIT for YouTube and we call its respective authenticate method. So this method gets executed, and then we create object with respect to the Facebook and this particular method gets executed. Now let's check the output. So now I'm going to enter the YouTube username. So now it displays call YouTube Authenticator API with the respective username and password. Now it's asking the Facebook username. So now I'm going to enter the Facebook username and then I'm going to enter the Facebook password. Now it displays call Facebook Authenticator API with its respective username and password. That's all. So we have seen everything. So here it's suppose if you want to provide some sample implementation, instead of abstract you can use the virtual keyword and include the sample code to represent what this particular authenticate must include. So in the future, the derived class that inherits the login class has to override the authenticate method declared in the abstract class. That's all about the abstract class. So if you like the video, subscribe to my channel Programming Info by GS. Thank you.